For Christ sent me not to baptize, but to preach the gospel, not with wisdom of words, lest the cross of Christ should be made of none effect. That verse written by the Apostle Paul is the beginning and end of our conversation. It cuts through all the noise, all the ritual, all the religious complexity we have built up over the centuries. Sit down, let's talk about why we try to complicate the gospel of Jesus Christ. We spend our lives making things difficult. We build up rules and traditions and steps that we believe we must follow to be right with God. We create denominations, write books of theology, and argue over every tiny detail of the law. And in all of that effort, we risk doing exactly what Paul feared, making the cross of Christ of none effect. Look at the thief on the cross. His life was over. His hands were pinned and he had no time. He didn't get baptized. He didn't follow a denomination. He didn't have time to tithe or memorize a single book of the Bible. He simply turned his broken, dying face toward Jesus Christ and said one thing: Lord, remember me when thou comest into thy kingdom. And Jesus, the Word made flesh, the King of all creation, didn't ask him a single theological question. He didn't ask about his past sins or his baptism status. He looked at that broken heart and that contrite spirit, and he gave him the beautiful, undeniable truth of the gospel. Verily I say unto thee, today shalt thou be with me in paradise. That is the gospel, a simple, radical, life-saving transaction of total dependence. Why do we think we can add to that? Why do we think that our rules or our good deeds can make that moment more complete? We are trying to buy something that has already been paid for. Think again of Paul. He was one of the smartest, most well-studied men of his time. He knew the law perfectly. If anyone had a reason to boast in their knowledge or their works, it was him. But once he found Christ on that road to Damascus, everything changed. He said he counted all his accomplishments, all his knowledge, all his heritage as dung, that he might simply win Christ. Everything he knew, everything he was, it meant nothing. Only Christ mattered. And we are nothing without Christ. We are utterly dependent. We cannot add to or take away from the Word of God. We cannot improve on the cross. Our salvation is not in the strength of our understanding, but in the simplicity of our faith. The answer is not in our hearts or in our feelings. The answer is in a heart and a mind and a soul that is simply looking to Christ, knowing He has all the answers. Don't let any man or any rule complicate the love that was shown on the cross. Just look to Him.